In a season filled with uncertainty, shifting narratives, and rising tensions across the NBA, one storyline continues to dominate discussions: the future of Giannis Antetokounmpo. While the league waits for the two-time MVP to recover from injury, speculation surrounding his next move only intensifies. And in the middle of this storm, a voice long known for blunt honesty has stepped forward. Draymond Green, currently sidelined himself, has become one of the most influential commentators in basketball through his podcast platform. This time he directs his attention to Giannis, and surprisingly his analysis is sharp, measured, and grounded in the financial and competitive realities of the league. Before we proceed into this full breakdown, you need to stay locked in. Before we continue, make sure you subscribe, leave a like, and comment your thoughts so you never miss any of these major NBA updates. Draymond Green has been away from the court due to injury, but that hasn't stopped him from remaining a central figure in NBA discussions. Through his podcast, The Draymond Green Show, the Golden State Warriors forward has kept himself in the public spotlight, often shaping narratives that ripple across the league. This week, Green turned his attention to one of the biggest storylines of the current season: the uncertain future of Giannis Antetokounmpo. For months, rumors have circulated regarding the Greek star's long-term commitment to the Milwaukee Bucks. Those whispers grew louder in recent weeks after Giannis removed all references to the franchise from his social media profiles. The move triggered immediate speculation, suggesting possible frustration with the team's performance and internal direction. Reports soon followed indicating that Giannis and his agent were re-evaluating what would be best for his future in Milwaukee. Even while injured, the star forward continues to shape NBA headlines. His absence temporarily slowed discussions, but the expectation of his return reignited debates about where his career is headed. Draymond Green, known for offering candid takes, addressed the situation directly on his show. Contrary to expectations, his perspective was neither inflammatory nor exaggerated. Instead, Green outlined the complex financial and structural factors that make the possibility of trading Giannis extraordinarily difficult. Green emphasized that a player earning over $50 million annually cannot simply be moved without severe roster consequences. In his words, any team attempting to acquire Giannis would have to dismantle a significant portion of its roster just to match salaries. This, he argued, dramatically limits the number of franchises capable of engineering a realistic offer. He also noted that Giannis would certainly narrow the list even further by selecting only environments where he feels comfortable competing for championships. The comments highlighted a broader truth about modern NBA roster construction. Elite players with massive contracts are often too valuable and too expensive to be moved easily. Green's assessment became even more relevant when considering Giannis's current deal, which pays him over $54 million for the 2025-26 season and extends through 2027. The financial commitment required to trade for him is not only enormous but potentially destabilizing for any franchise, including contenders. Green also referenced the reaction to Giannis's social media purge, suggesting that it could be a strategic move to pressure the Bucks front office. The message, he argued, is straightforward. Dissatisfaction is now public and the organization must respond. In an era when star players increasingly leverage visibility to influence team decisions, the tactic is far from unprecedented. Meanwhile, the Bucks struggle on the court. With Giannis sidelined, Milwaukee slipped to 10th place in the Eastern Conference, carrying a disappointing 10-15 record. This is far from the competitive context Giannis expected when the season began, and it fuels further uncertainty about what lies ahead. The team understands the urgency. They must improve before their franchise cornerstone returns, or risk accelerating conversations about his future. Green's analysis, surprisingly measured, adds clarity to a situation clouded by rumors and speculation. While the league debates potential destinations and hypothetical trades, the financial and competitive realities remain undeniable. Moving Giannis is complex, restrictive, and potentially franchise-altering. And as the Bucks attempt to stabilize, the spotlight grows brighter, both on the team and on the superstar whose decisions could reshape the NBA landscape. The uncertainty surrounding Giannis Antetokounmpo'S future is no longer just a topic for analysts. It has become a structural issue for the Milwaukee Bucks, affecting every layer of the organization. For years, Giannis has been the axis of the franchise, the player who transformed Milwaukee from an overlooked market into a perennial contender. Now, with public signs of frustration and silence from his camp, the Bucks face their most delicate crossroads since the departure of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in the 1970s. Inside league circles, whispers about Giannis's dissatisfaction date back months. Executives close to the situation describe a widening gap between the player's championship expectations and the team's capability to support those ambitions. Even the blockbuster acquisition of Damian Lillard failed to create the synergy the franchise hoped for. Defensive inconsistencies, depth issues, and a general lack of rhythm have placed Milwaukee in a position far from enviable for a team led by a two-time MVP. Giannis's recent injury only intensified the uncertainty. Officially, the time away was meant for physical recovery. Unofficially, it became a moment for reflection both for the player and for the organization. Known for his discipline and relentless competitive spirit, Giannis has no interest in spending his prime years on a roster that struggles to stay above .500. The Bucks are aware of this, and the pressure is visible in every strategic decision they make. Draymond Green's comments reflect a perspective shared by many veteran players in the league. Trading a superstar of Giannis's caliber is a logistical and emotional maze. His contract, surpassing $50 million per season, is not just a financial commitment, it is a structural anchor. Any team attempting to acquire him would need to dismantle multiple pieces of its roster just to match the salary, limiting the list of organizations capable of engaging in meaningful negotiations. Moreover, Giannis would certainly have preferences regarding potential destinations, further narrowing the possible scenarios. Inside the Bucks front office, two visions collide. One group pushes for immediate roster changes, believing the team still has a window to convince Giannis that Milwaukee remains the right place to compete for titles. Another faction argues that the franchise must prepare for the possibility of a rebuild, ensuring they extract value instead of facing a scenario where Giannis leaves with minimal return. Both perspectives carry weight, and both underline the same reality: the situation is becoming increasingly urgent. Meanwhile, the locker room atmosphere has shifted. Veterans sense the tension, while younger players feel the added pressure of performing under a microscope. Damian Lillard, who arrived seeking a fresh start and another legitimate chance at a championship run, has yet to develop the on-court chemistry with Giannis that many expected. Their partnership flashes brilliance at times, but long stretches of inconsistency overshadow the potential. And so the league waits. Every statement, every rumor, every game played without Giannis feeds into a growing narrative. The NBA may be approaching a seismic moment. Should the Bucks fail to re-establish stability upon his return, the race to acquire Giannis could become one of the most aggressive pursuits of a superstar in the last decade. Milwaukee still hopes that his comeback will restore order, elevate performance, and buy time for meaningful changes. But hope alone might not be enough. The upcoming weeks will reveal whether the franchise can repair the cracks forming around its cornerstone, or whether the countdown to an era-defining decision has already begun.